Hi, I'm Felicity, a registered nurse, cosmetic injector and clinic owner. Welcome to my channel, The Fit Injector. If you're pregnant and having issues with your skin or planning pregnancy and wondering what changes might happen in your skin, then this video is for you. So I've been pregnant for 32 weeks now with only 8 weeks to go, and I want to share my skin journey throughout my pregnancy. Then I want to talk about the really common skin issues during pregnancy and how to best manage them. During my pregnancy, my skin has not been what it was before. Prior to falling pregnant, I expected to have this beautiful glow that everyone talks about, but throw back to the first and second trimesters and I was far from glowing. From before I even found out I was pregnant, my skin started to change. I noticed that it was red, it was itchy, it was dry, it was visibly flaking off my face, and it got progressively worse. Now, I have had psoriasis for years, but it has been really well managed in the last few years, but falling pregnant sent it absolutely wild. During those first and second trimesters, it was through my hair, around and in my ears, my eyebrows, my lashes, and then started to cover my entire face. Plus, there was more to add to the psoriasis. I started to get really red cheeks. I started to get little pustules forming, really hot and flushed. And my GP diagnosed me with rosacea, just to throw that in the mix with the psoriasis. Now, rosacea runs in my family, so I knew at some point I would probably develop this, but I was never expecting that that would happen during my pregnancy. So now I'm in my third trimester, and thank goodness my skin has finally settled and it's finally feeling back to normal. And I think that's because the hormones are settling, and I did a lot of work during those first and second trimesters to really calm everything down to have the best outcome long term. So what did I do to manage my skin? Now, unfortunately, as we'll talk about in a moment, a lot of the interventions for skin conditions you just can't do during pregnancy for safety reasons. So during those first and second trimesters, it was all about calming the inflammation and keeping my skin really hydrated. So I actually stopped using all of the active ingredients on my skin. I stopped doing chemical peels, and I did a lot of LED. I was in the clinic basically every second day doing double LEDs, alternating between all 4 of the colors of the lights to really calm that inflammation as much as I could. I also focused on really increasing my water intake and really focusing on a healthy diet. So there's an insight into my skin journey during pregnancy. Now I want to talk about what are the most common skin conditions that you might experience during pregnancy. So we have acne, melasma, psoriasis, and dermatitis. Now, why do these happen? Firstly, the surge in hormones. Now, these conditions can either be pre-existing and they're exacerbated, or they can be pregnancy specific. Let's discuss each of these conditions individually in a little bit more depth. Let's start with acne. Now, this is one that most people expect to experience due to the hormones during their pregnancy. For some people, it can be very mild, and other people, it can be very extensive cystic acne. Unfortunately, most acne treatments, you just can't use them during pregnancy, such as topical prescription products, just due to safety of your baby. But the good news is there is a wide range of active ingredients that you can be using at home to help your skin. Plus, you can go and visit a clinic, have an assessment. You can do a lot of the mild chemical peels, LED, microdermabrasion, and also some lasers. I actually have a few clients who are also pregnant at this time and unfortunately experiencing cystic acne. Now, they reached out to me and I helped them with a few little tweaks to their skincare range, and within a few weeks they reported back that they were noticing massive differences in their skin, which is so positive to hear. Now let's talk about melasma, also known as the pregnancy mask. It's a hormonal pigmentation that's typically found on the upper lip, the upper cheeks or under eyes, the temples and the forehead, sometimes representing a butterfly pattern on the face. Due to being a hormonal pigmentation, melasma is unavoidable, so the best things you can do is to manage the severity of it. Now, melasma is aggravated by heat, light, and trauma, and pregnant women are more susceptible to sun damage, of course, due to the surge in hormones. So the absolute best thing you can do is get that sun protection down pat. Do not leave the house without sunscreen and a hat, and do not sunbake during your pregnancy. You also want to add in some really key active ingredients at home to help prevent as much as you can and minimize as much of that pigmentation as you possibly can. Then after you have your baby, you can go to a clinic and have an assessment of your skin for some peels, some lasers, some LEDs to help you manage and reduce as much of that pigmentation as possible. Next up, psoriasis. Now, psoriasis is a skin condition where the skin builds up, causing dry, flaky patches. It can be found on the face, the body, and also through the scalp. Psoriasis is an autoimmune condition which generally causes flare-ups and also lifelong symptoms. Management of psoriasis is best done with your GP or dermatologist, and unfortunately, most treatment options will have to wait until after pregnancy. And our last condition is dermatitis, which is skin inflammation. So the skin will be dry, swollen, and red. Now, the causes of dermatitis and what causes a flare-up will vary between individuals and can be down to certain factors. There are many different types of dermatitis, and causes can be stress, hormones, environmental changes, and irritating substances. For a diagnosis and treatment of dermatitis, you are best to see your GP or dermatologist, and do expect most of the treatments to have to wait until after your pregnancy. However, some gentle creams, oatmeal baths, and phototherapy can be safely used throughout pregnancy to help provide some relief for dermatitis. Thank you so much for watching this video on the common skin conditions during pregnancy and also hearing about my skin journey throughout my pregnancy. I hope this has helped you either in your current state or you're planning for pregnancy, and now you can start thinking about these factors and preparing for that. If you've got any questions, drop them below. If this was helpful, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.